2026 is a new chapter in Cardinals history, and there is no face more synonymous with turning the page than Chaim Bloom. I sat down with the new Cardinals president of baseball operations to chat about his time at the helm so far. The energy around this club right now is palpable. You can see it in the stadium with the players when we talk to them. Obviously, the tarps off crew and the fans have started their own thing. How much do you feel that energy yourself when you're around town, people in baseball? How much are people talking about what's happening with the St. Louis Cardinals?
So I'd say two things. Number one, even in past years when I was here, again, from the outside, St. Louis is a baseball town. I know what it feels like to work in a baseball town, but you have to be here to really feel it. And even with the struggles we were having on field, you could still feel it everywhere in this town, in this region. It's something different. It really is pretty special. And so with that, I said there were two things. The second thing is this team, we had amazing energy in spring training. And obviously we hadn't done anything on the field yet. It was just a really cool vibe in spring, both where the group was at, how they were picking up what we and our staff were trying to put down for them, even just some things around having our complex renovated, things like that. It was just such an upbeat spring. And the thing that's been cool about this is, and it tells you how dialed in our fans are with this team. The thing that's been cool is, we got off to a good start, but you can see just our fan base able to intuit and connect with the fun that they see these guys having. It is something, it's really cool to see that it is that visible and that palpable, that people want to feel it and they want to be a part of it. And that's the whole thing with this is we're not just sitting here saying, hey, we're gonna put on a good show and come watch it. This is a place where the fans are part of this and we want them to feel a part of it, and it's really cool to see people feeling that.
You've given this quote a couple of times. I'm paraphrasing here about the mindset of waking up every day, goal of whipping somebody's rear, I'll say here for our 5:30 audience on a Cardinals pregame show, of 29 other organizations. How much do you feel that mindset every day when you show up to the ballpark from the top down?
Well, I'll give our 5:30 audience a little credit that I think they could handle it, but I will respect sort of the parameters you've laid out. I do hope they feel with that, the intensity that we feel. That is what this is about. This is a competitive business. It is a zero-sum competition. There's one trophy a year, and we want to set the highest standard in the game. We want to be the organization that everybody follows, and to do that, it's not just something that we want our players to feel. Everybody in this organization needs to wake up feeling like it is a privilege to get to do what I do today. There's only 29 other people on planet Earth that get to do this, and I want to beat all of them. And if we have everybody in this organization, whether you're in uniform, out of uniform, feeling that way, that's how we can accomplish some great things. That's how we can get where we need to be. That's how we can set that standard again.
Talked many times about the future, and that's the priority. And obviously, this is great what's happening now. A couple months from now, if it's still like this, how do you kind of manage prioritizing the future? Because that's what this is about, with a team that maybe could do something this year. I know we're still a few months away, but that's something you're probably always thinking about.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as much as we want to just take each day for what it is, and we certainly want our players to stay in the moment and for not to waste a day. We don't want to waste a day, but part of our job is to look ahead and to plan. The first thing I want to say that I want to make sure everybody knows is that's not a problem. That's what we hope will happen. As much as I tried to be as clear as I could that we need to take a long-term mindset to this thing, we need to build this towards our big and really ambitious goal, and to be willing to do what it takes to get there, even if that means trade-offs in the short term. We still walk in this building every day wanting to win. So it's hard to know exactly what that's going to mean without knowing the specific opportunities in front of us. The one thing that I think we have to stick with is we can't compromise on that bigger goal. But we're also going to walk in here every day still wanting to win. We love that our players have bought into that.
One of the biggest reasons for the success is the play of Jordan Walker. How is this Jordan Walker different than the Jordan Walker you saw when you first got here?
I haven't been here for his whole pro career, but it was just apparent really from the end of last season. This is the best offseason he's had as a pro. It's the best offseason he's had wearing our uniform. And you could just see the communication was different. The alignment around the work was different and better. The work quality was better. The preparation was better. And I think some of it, he's just in a place where, and hopefully we did our part to make this happen in terms of just there seemed to be a little more trust and collaboration that led to that good communication. So because of all that, even though the results weren't there in spring training, our staff had a lot of confidence that, hey, we need to stick with this guy. We need him to be with us. You know, this is one of those players, the talent was always apparent. And it's one of those things, like, just being around the last couple of years, you look at him, you say, look, he's still really young. Like, this is going to click for him at some point. It has to happen here. And as long as the work is there, we need to make sure we stay with him so that it does happen here. And to see that start to be the case is really gratifying.
We obviously saw a lot in Ollie to keep him as the manager. A lot of times, people from the outside baseball world were probably already assuming, okay, new guy at the helm, he's going to bring in a new guy. Just from what we've seen in these first 50 games, what has already reinforced that Ollie is the right guy for this moment for this team?
Well, it helped that I had a couple years to get to know him and really build a relationship. And I tried to navigate that appropriately, where I didn't ever want him to feel like he was getting different direction from different people. I just wanted to get to know him, let him get to know me a little bit. I think there's a couple different things with that role. Obviously, it's a leadership role where you need to lead the group. There's also a partnership you need to build, certainly with the person in my seat and just with the organization generally. And that's something that obviously you build over time, but we had enough conversation, I had enough interaction with him to feel like we were aligned in where this organization needed to go, that I liked the way his mind works, and felt like this is a partnership I want to work with him to build. And I think in the early going, it's been exactly what I hoped it would be. The ability, because of those conversations, to get very quickly to a point of a lot of trust, a lot of honesty. Like, to me, when you talk about trust, one of the biggest things that's a barometer of that is, are people actually saying what they mean? Are they being honest to each other? If you can get to that quickly and you can build a high trust organization around that, you will be better than you should be. And if you aren't doing that, where people aren't saying what they mean to each other, and even worse, sometimes they're saying what they mean behind each other's backs, you'll never be as good as you should be. So our ability to get to that as an organization is really important.
Not everybody is J.J. Weatherholt and is going to be here in the big leagues right away. As the man kind of calling the shots, do you ever fall in love with a prospect and then have to remind yourself, I got to pump the brakes. This isn't basketball. This isn't football. There's a process to this. Even, do you get attached to guys and say, I want him here now, but I know that's not the right move?
Yeah, all the time. I mean, as much as I can sit here and talk a good game, but I've said this in different settings. Like, I think there's probably not an emotion that any fan of this team has had that I haven't had at some point watching the game up here, just thinking about the organization or things we need to do. Of course, we all want it to happen right now, and we want it to happen in every case, and we want to snap our fingers and have it be easy. It's not, and we have to remind ourselves of that. And, I don't like to think in terms of, just sit back and be patient. I like to think in terms of, we got to tackle this with urgency, but we also need to be realistic about what that takes. And the big thing for me is no shortcuts. Like, if we really want those outcomes, we got to earn every bit of them. We cannot expect, this game's just too hard at this level. We can't expect to take shortcuts and have it work out. Even when you feel you have everything covered and you've given a player everything they need. Big leagues are really hard. Most players struggle at first. So it's on us to make sure we are covering all those things that we can identify. Shame on us if we see a weakness or a hole that could be addressed and we don't address it and we bring a player up here and then that's what sinks him. That's on us. So we need to make sure we're doing everything we possibly can. We're not going to be able to get there in every case. That's just how it works. But we need to try everything that makes sense, that has a chance to give us that success, so that we set our players up to help us win.
Final thought, and you've touched on it already, and you knew it before you came here, and obviously you've been here a few years, but what makes this a special time to be a Cardinal, just simply put?
Well, this is the type of organization where it's always a special time, right? Because this is one of the great organizations in sports, and I know our players feel it. I think we feel it. I certainly feel it. Like, every single day you get to either put on a uniform or a polo shirt or inhabit any role in this organization. That's a special privilege, and you should never take that lightly, and I don't think our people do. Getting to know this organization over the last couple of years, it is a very special place to the people who work here, and you can feel that being here. But I think at this particular time, in this city with this fan base, this is a fan base that understands the game. And so the process of rallying behind a group of young players that are going to get a chance to grow together, and seeing that come together and seeing that core grow, and then hopefully continuing to build on that towards success, like, this fan base appreciates that probably more than any other in sports. Like, certainly I don't think anybody has us beat. Maybe some other fan bases are up there. And, that is what you know, that's what, when you get to know our fans, as I have started to, you know, this is something that's generational, that people remember the players that they saw, that they followed, that if you become one of those guys, you grew up here and you accomplish some things here, you will be beloved in this city forever. And so to have a chance to rally around a group of guys who are all gunning for that and all have a chance to do that, that's a really special thing right now.